Sweaty Science Students Channel! You guys ready? Okay, our first topic is going to be biologists. And I know you all may think that they just wear lab coats and cool goggles, but there's a lot more to being a biologist than that.
Biologists can do many things. They can perform labs, but they can also make discoveries.
Biologists can also research diseases and develop more technologies.
And they can also improve agriculture and preserve the environment.
And the last thing they do is study the diversity of life.
Like us!
Yes.
My numbers.
So the next thing we're going to talk about is the 8 characteristics of life, but we're going to explain it through like humans, like why we are living.
So there's
organisms.
8 characteristics of life. The first one is that they have to have one or more cells.
Which we have lots of.
Yeah. Then the next one is they have to display organization from cells to tissue to organs to organ systems.
To the humans. So for an example, it would be like our organ systems, like our lungs and our brain and our heart all working together. So we run, correct?
And telling like Ellie how to talk, like it's sending messages.
Yes.
From the brain
Yeah, my
to your
nerves
mouth.
are. Yes. And another thing that they do is they grow and develop. So we start off as little babies. And eventually grow up into adults like us. And teenagers are in between and yes. Okay, and the next thing they do is they reproduce.
Which obviously you do because we were all
Yeah.
born somehow, weren't we?
Organisms
We don't
reproduce
just stop.
asexually or sexually.
Yep,
So-
and you weren't ordered off Amazon, buddy.
It didn't just show up on the front doorstep. Okay, the next thing they do is
Response to
stimuli.
So if Ellie pinches, ow, that hurt. That's the response. Or it's really hot in school today, so sister sweat through my t-shirt.
And we got some
That's
pit
the
stains.
body trying to cool down air in here by
Yay.
releasing water.
Sweat.
Okay, our next thing
Sweat.
that organisms do is they need energy.
So
I'm
you-
just gonna explain this.
So everything needs energy to live. We eat. So in the morning it's important to get up and eat a healthy breakfast so your body has enough energy to last through the school day.
Yeah.
Another
But
thing.
I eat like a pig. and
Some
I still
animals-
don't last to this.
Or some plants also get energy from the sun.
Photosynthesis.
Yeah.
Which turns the energy into a food source.
Yes.
There's different things. There's decomposers, there's consumers.
Itself.
Also, another characteristic is adapts and evolves over time, which obviously we have done because people nowadays look way different than we did a long time ago.
Like the theory
We
is we
don't
come
look-
from cavemen. Like that would be kind of cool. Or monkeys. Like obviously we don't look like monkeys now, but
And,
evolve over time.
and development is different than growth.
That was a long time
Growth
ago.
is adding mass.
Adapts. We also adapt to a different culture. No, we'll just cut that out. We adapt to the different cultures. So like now we build homes. Like in Minnesota, it's really really cold. So we build homes with heating systems, so we can survive in the wintertime and not freeze to death.
So those are the 8 characteristics of life, which if organism does not have all those things,
They
They are
aren't
not an
alive
organism.
like my
Like a
dinosaur.
rock.
Considered living.
so the next thing that we'll be talking about is the nature of science.
Which is
The nature of science
Okay,
explains
no,
why everything
no.
happens.
We're gonna say the importance of science.
Okay,
Or
I'll
why
explain
should we
that.
each do why we think it's important.
Yes, I
Okay.
go first.
Guys, I don't
So-
know my importance.
Our
So-
next topic is going to be the importance of science.
I think science is important because it explains why everything in nature happens.
I think that science is important because it just explains everything about our world to help us better understand it.
I think science is important because one, you can make cool new discoveries and help make an advantage, help yourself get better and improve the world. Yeah.
And I think science is important because I hate sweating, but now I know the reason why I sweat, and now I'm better understanding of it.
Oh, okay. So bioethics is how we do science, but we incorporate what our beliefs are, so our ethics. So if we test on, let's say, mice, or we test on dogs, what an experiment is, it could really hurt the dogs. And dogs are precious cute animals that we don't want to hurt.
So it kind of questions people's morals. So some people think, oh, this is okay to test on animals, and other people are like, no, don't test on animals. That's mean to the animals. It's abuse. So it can kind of go either way. It's kind of the gray area of science. Another example would be like cloning humans.
Yeah, so a lot of people think that cloning humans could be wrong because many people believe that it's like an act of God to make another human or other animals, and then other people just think it's wrong. But then we're able to clone animals, and we're getting closer to clone humans. So scientists want to do that, but also a lot of them think that it might be wrong.
So our next topic is the scientific method.
So the first part of the scientific method is asking a question. So you're trying to figure out what you want the answer to.
Next, you have to form a hypothesis. You form a hypothesis by using observations and things that you know already.
Like your 5 senses.
Yep. And then the third step is collecting data with an experiment.
So like there's a whole bunch of different parts to an experiment. So the first part would be like the control group, which is the group that has no manipulation, stays the same, and they use it for comparison.
The next is the experimental group, which is the group that is exposed to the factor being tested.
And then the next part would be the independent and the dependent variables. So the independent is the factor being tested, and the dependent is the chain. It changes because of the independent variable. So for an example would be like coil and wire. So if you wrap the coil around the wire, how many times, that'd be the independent. And then the electric charge, right?
Yeah,
goes
we'll
up
pick up
because
magnet,
of
yeah.
we'll pick up the magnet because of
The more coils
the
you have
independent
on there.
variable. Yeah.
So then the next thing is a constant, which is the factor that remains fixed.
And then the fourth step is analyzing data. So you use graphs and you use charts to find your data.
And then the last step number 5, is report your conclusions. You need to report your conclusions so that you can finalize it.
You do that so that you can teach people about what you learned, that more people will get the information that you are putting out there.
So then everybody gets smarter.